Hey, welcome everybody to the Daybirds Consulting Incorporated page. We are super excited because we have a book birthday today that we are here to celebrate. And as you are joining us, please go ahead, throw your name over into the comment section. Let us know where you're coming from. And that'll be fantastic. We would love to see who's going to be with us today. And I have a special guest, and it is the guest of honor because he has a book that is coming out today. It is available right now. And it is Dwight Carter. Dwight, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate you having me, and I want to thank you and your company for just believing in me and publishing the book and supporting everything from start to finish. So I appreciate you and George, Paige, everybody from the Impress team as well. So glad to be here.
Yeah, for sure. No, we are honored to have you as part of the Impress family. And then Impress is part of the Daybirds Consulting Incorporated family too. So super pumped about that. And this book, Be Great: 5 Principles to Empower to Improve School Culture from the Inside Out.
Yeah.
And first of all, that's Tisha joining us from Oregon. Right on. Thanks, Tisha, for joining us. Really appreciate you being here. Make Learning Magical author Tisha Richmond is here. Cool. And Winston is popping in.
From Hawaii. Right. What's going on, Winston? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah. So, hey, Dwight, for those who don't know, I know you're from the great state of Ohio.
Yeah.
But for those that don't know what you're currently up to, what's your current role in education right now?
Yeah, my current role, the last 3 years, I made a transition to career tech education. And so my current position is Director of Student Support Systems at the Eastland Fairfield Career Technical School District. What that simply means is that I oversee our department that is all about student support systems. So special education, DEI, ELL education, MTSS, social emotional learning. So all the things that go into essentially removing barriers and creating a positive climate and culture. So that's my role. I've just finished my first year in that role. I was 2 years as an assistant principal, one of the career tech schools, which is interesting to go back to the assistant principalship after being a principal for so long, then a coach and consultant. So it was very grounding, helped me to really recenter and return to my purpose. But it also springboarded me to the position that I have now. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We have all kinds of new people popping in too. Hello to Diane. Laney's in the house. Tara is in here.
Tara.
Yeah, so super good to see everybody popping into the comments. I think where I want to start is I love the cover of this book, and you are wearing the perfect outfit to discuss this cover. So let's talk about this cover. Where did this idea come from? And I mean, this is kind of a trademark for you, yeah?
Yeah, it's become a trademark. So the origin of the bow tie for me started back when my daughter was born. So we have a 9-year-old daughter, excuse me, and her first birthday. My wife and I talked, and she said, "Hey, how about you? Why don't you wear a bow tie for her first birthday?" Because we kind of dressed up, and it was, it was nice. And so that was the origin. So I wore a tie for her first birthday party. It took me about 3 weeks to learn. Now I struggled with it, and like 2 hours before the party, I was still struggling with it. And then like 15 minutes before the party started, it clicked. So it finally clicked. And honestly, I started wearing them more regularly. And then there was a big thing on Twitter, social media is bow tie Tuesday. So I would definitely wear it on Tuesday. I would tweet pictures about my bow tie. But then it became a thing for me. So I started wearing them every single day. And when I don't wear it, people look at me all side-eyed, like, what's going on? So it's become my trademark. And so it was ideal for the book cover because that's what I'm known for. And the design actually, it came from when I was a leadership coach and consultant. I was working with a group called Dynamics, and we were just, still working and reaching out and connecting with a lot of people. So I talked with them and then decided I wanted to create my own logo for my own thing that was happening. And so a designer put this together, and immediately it resonated with me. So that's the book cover as well.
Yeah, I'm absolutely in love with the fact that was incorporated into the book cover, and I mean it's perfect. It's ideal. And I see that we have co-publisher of the book, George, just popped in to say hello.
What's going on, GC?
George is, I guess he must be fully recovered from his long trip with dog trip across continents from Canada all the way to Florida. And
I'm also really thankful for George. He wrote the forward to the book. He's been a very strong advocate for the book, for me writing the book, and an accountability partner is that. So as in that process as well. So he's been a strong person in my corner that has led to the completion of Be Great.
I see. I feel like he's calling me out right now because I don't have a soundboard with an air horn to give the. I can't give the shout. I can't give the shout out air horn because I don't have a soundboard here. So I'm gonna have to upgrade. I'm gonna have to upgrade what I do here. I don't know. So this book. So 5 principles. And so we don't want to give it all away, Dwight, but like let's dive into this a little bit.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of a sense of what this book, what they're going to get out of this book, and how this is going to help improve school culture.
All right. So what the readers are going to get out of this book is that we have complete control of the type of culture we want to create. Total control, because we control our attitude and actions. And culture, if you know the definition of school culture, is the beliefs, norms, attitudes, and traditions that the adults create. So that means the adults are in control of our own behavior. Therefore, we create the culture. We often say kids create the culture, but the reality is not. The kids come to the school. They are part of the culture, but they adapt to the type of culture that exists, be it in the classroom, the school, the entire schoolhouse, or the entire district. So I go through and outline the 5 principles that I believe in and that have guided me in my journey, as not just as an educator, but just as a man and as a human. Now, I also want to state that in this book, you also get out of it that it's not about perfection, because I am nowhere near that. I share stories of where I fell short of those guiding principles and how that impacted the climate at the time. Now, thankfully, I was able to correct it, so the culture overall wasn't impacted. But the reality is, I was in control of my attitude and actions. And sometimes I share stories about not when I wasn't in control, but when I made a different choice that wasn't in line with those principles. So one of the principles, and just the word great it's an acronym. And the acronym is grateful, relational, enthusiastic, authentic, and teachable. My belief is that if every adult in the schoolhouse, actually every adult period, regardless of being in the schoolhouse or not, because anyone who's not in education decides to buy my book, they'll see that these principles apply just by being human. But what I'm saying is, when you apply those principles, again, you now have control over your situation, and you can then advocate for what you need and what you want to create. So it's all about choices.
Yeah, I love this idea of taking ownership, the adults taking ownership of the culture that they create in their school. And now that this G being standing for grateful, it makes a lot of sense that Lainey is excited about this book, right? With the Evolving with Gratitude message. So that's fantastic. And George is throwing the link in here. If you're looking to pick up this book, highly recommend you grab this book, pick it up. This is a perfect time to read this book because, we're just getting ready to launch into a new school year. A lot of people still on the summer vacation right now, but this is the perfect time to get this book, read it with your staff. This is a book that, of course, as a principal, you're going to want to read this. As an assistant principal, you're going to read this, but really this is a book for your whole staff because Dwight, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think this is going to be something that whether you're a classroom teacher, whether you're an administrator, you're still going to be able to something. You're part of that school culture, so you're going to be able to get something out of this book.
Absolutely. Position doesn't matter. It's your disposition. And these principles are about your disposition. So you can be a principal, assistant principal, superintendent, receptionist, secretary, bus driver, custodian. It doesn't matter because we're in a business of developing and working with people. And so if we show gratitude throughout our day, then that creates happiness. And when people are happy, they perform at a much higher level. There's that psychological safety. So I share stories of how I exhibited gratitude in my work and the experiences that came from that. And also I share stories about how I received gratitude. And one of the things I'm really proud of are the number of educators and friends that contributed to the book. So there's 11 educators from across the country, from all walks of life. We have rural, urban, suburban educators, black, white, male, female. It's the whole gamut, and each person has a unique story related to those specific principles. And I'm very, very grateful that they accepted the invitation to contribute. So thank you all.
Yeah, I love that you pulled in voices from all over the place, and that really, I
Absolutely.
think, strengthens the message, brings all that, so some different perspectives and all that to it. And so that's awesome. Thank you so much. I see a couple people have popped in here and have said that they're buying the book and grabbing it,
Thanks,
and
Vic.
can't wait to hear what you think. Make sure you connect with us and use the Be Great hashtag so we can pick up your tweet, find out what it is that you're thinking about this book. Dwight, if people want to connect with you, where are the best places to get connected with you?
As you can see on the screen, one of the best places to connect with me is Twitter. It's at Dwight, or excuse me, at Dwight_Carter. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn at Dwight L. Carter, and Instagram under Dwight Carter as well. My email address, please connect with me there. It's mrdwightcarter@gmail.com.
And Dwight, I know that you do keynote speeches and workshops and different things like that. So if someone's interested in having you come out to their school system or speak at the conference on this message, they can contact you either through social media or jump on the website and contact you that way as well. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Fantastic. Awesome. Well, we are super pumped about this book. We know that it's going to really change schools, going to change districts, and we cannot wait to hear what you think about it. And so an acronym book, I don't know how George let this slip through, because George has often told me that he's not a fan of acronyms. He doesn't like this pirate acronym thing or anything like that. But here it is, an Impress book with an acronym. I'm proud of you, George. I'm proud of you for stepping through that barrier and embracing the power of an acronym in a book. And so we're pumped to have this hit the marketplace. So head over to Amazon right now, grab this book, put it into the cart, and make sure that you let us know what you think. Tweet out your takeaways. We'd love to see a picture of it when it arrives, and maybe some quotes, some things that really resonate with you. We'd love for you to share those as well. Start a book study. If you want to make a bulk order, get in contact with us at Impress or DBC Inc. And there's discounted rates for if you want to buy it for your whole staff. We can hook you up and get you a great discount on it. And Dwight, what's your situation as far as like when do you get rolling again with the school year?
Well, I'm a 60-day employee, so I'm there all the time. And but our staff returns. Our district staff, like the administrators, officially return August 1st. Teachers and everyone else returns August 10th, and our students return August 15th. So we're right around the corner. I mean, it's all systems go. People were like taking their last few days and weeks of vacation, but we're still planning and whatnot, and trying to integrate some new things that we have in place. But we also just looking at how do we reset, and then reset, but also level up the expectations that we have of everybody. Because again, we're still coming out of it, and everybody's ready just to focus on education, focus on building relationships, focus on being very purposeful and intentional on what we do. So
yeah. All right. Well, and I love the fact that it's 5 too. This is approachable. This is something that's not overwhelming. These are 5 things that you can focus on in your school this year, that if you do that, you're going to see a huge impact in your school culture, which of course is going to impact everybody, student learning, that student experience, everyone feeling welcome and that sense of belonging in the building. And so Dwight, congratulations on the release today. And I hope you enjoyed the whole process of working with Impress and the developmental team and all that kind of stuff. And
start to finish, they've been very supportive. There's, like I said, there's systems of accountability involved. There's people are available for questions. Did a lot of pushback back and forth on make specific statements. Even the title of the book, there was some back and forth, and we landed on the subtitle.
Yeah.
Which is again the 5 principles. And what I like about the subtitle is that it's all about agency. It's like it's important. It comes from here first. Oftentimes we look on the outside and look at outside circumstances or outside expectations for how we should behave. But the reality is, it's inside out. When we control what we do, the outcomes, we typically get the outcomes that we want to get. If I can just briefly talk about the origin of the Be Great mantra.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
yeah, when I was my first principalship, I was a middle school principal in Gahanna, Ohio, Gahanna Middle School East. Hindsight, wasn't ready, but I was ready, if that makes sense. I don't know if you're ever ready for the principalship. So I jumped in, was thinking about how do I end messages other than sincerely or thank you? Because typically when you send emails, you see it sincerely or there's some type of sign off.
Yeah.
So I was doing that throughout the year, and I was driving back and forth to work, kept really thinking about, okay, what message do I really want to send? Tried a couple things that didn't work. And then one day I was driving to work and it just hit me, Be Great landed in my mind. So I put it on a few emails, included in the parent newsletter, just anything that I sent out, any correspondence, I ended it with Be Great. After about 3, 4, or 5 weeks, maybe 2 months, I can't remember the exact time frame. I kept saying like, this is corny, this is cheesy, like this doesn't make any sense. So I stopped doing it. And I remember to this day, I had one of our solid. I mean, she was a very well respected, highly accomplished veteran teacher. She knocked on the door and said, "Hey, you got a minute?" I was like, "Yeah, what's going on?" She says, "Why did you stop using Be Great?" I said, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You stopped using it on your emails, and people are wondering, did you get in trouble or something for saying that?" And I chuckled, like, got in trouble by who? But again, I said, no, I just thought it was corny. She's like, no, she said, for me, it was a reminder of what I can become and what I can do and how I can behave. She's like, I really liked it. Then I started getting emails from parents. And they said, why did you stop using Be Great? I've shared that with my boss and my boss now uses it. So I was like, wow, this must be it. I must be onto something. So then I just kept using it. And then after about 3 or 4 years, I really became focused on, okay, I'm using this term, but what does it really mean? Why did it come to my, like, why did God place that phrase in my mind? And what does it really mean to me? So I started like really thinking about the things that were important to me, the principles and the values that I had and I really wanted to live by and live up to. And again, it just came, like it just flowed. It went from a phrase to doubt, trepidation, to what I thought was corny, to confirmation and affirmation, and then it turned into principles. And so from 2003 until like 2006, 2007, those principles were just being developed, and then it turned into what I've become. It's turned into what people know me as. And because I use it all the time, I kept saying I had to have some teeth behind what that really means, not just in word, but in action. And again, I'm telling everybody who's in the sound of my voice, in no way, shape, or form, I'm saying I do these things every day, all the time. I'm not perfect. It's not about being perfect at all. It's about being consistent and being intentional. And so, and when you read the book, you'll see that, man, I really messed up in some areas. But I also talk about the lessons that I learned in those areas and other people who shared and what they learned. And then when you read the book, you'll notice that there's some through lines. There's the definition of the principle. It's an explanation of the principle, maybe some origin of the principle. And then there's some research to support where I'm coming from. Then there's a story or two. And then at the end of each chapter, there's like three discussion questions, three reflective questions. So it's a really great resource for a small group for a small group book study or individual book study and reflection. And I believe reflection is the heart of our practice.
Yeah. And I think that the fact that you were willing to share some of the places where you didn't always live up to these things, but then the lesson behind it makes it just more authentic, makes it more believable, makes it more, you show the evolution of this whole process and how, I mean, this has been a long time coming. This book has been a long time coming, a long time in development. And the fact that you share that story along the way makes it really powerful.
Yeah.
And I also love, like you mentioned, the reflection questions. It is already set up for you to do a book study. Like these discussion questions, these reflection questions are embedded into the book. You don't have to come up with it. If you're a principal, you want to do this with your staff, it's there for you already. And these questions are going to spark great conversation, great reflection about your school, where your school is right now. And then using these principles, you can take your school to the next level. So we're super excited. Dwight, again, thank you so much for joining us. And for everyone who's in the comments and who's watching this live or watching the playback, thank you so much for being a part of the book birthday today. We can't wait for you to be great. And again, please let us know what you think. We are just excited to see how this is going to transform your school system or your district. And so, Dwight from Impress and DBC, welcome to the family and congratulations on today's release.
I appreciate it. Thanks for welcoming me to the family and just, again, walking alongside me through this entire journey. And I look forward to our relationship. So appreciate you all, Dave. Appreciate you, Dave, George, and Paige. You guys know how I feel about you. And for everybody who joined the live and who has purchased or planned to purchase the book, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday.